Imagine this, a moment when literally the entire world was watching television, just collectively holding its breath. Picture families huddled around these glowing, grainy screens, looking up at the moon in the night sky. In this explainer, we're diving into the story of the moon landing mystery. You've got a man standing 384,000 kilometers away from Earth. I mean, he's standing on another world entirely. It's just a staggering reality when you think about it. The sheer distance, the incredible isolation, and honestly, the absolute awe of that single moment.
But even today, decades later, some people still ask a pretty fascinating question. Did it really happen? Or was it staged? To truly understand why this viral debate even exists and what the actual reality is, we need to go back in time a bit.
Which brings us to the space race, a truly silent battle. Back in the 1960s, the world was definitely not at peace. We were right in the middle of this silent battle for global dominance between two massive superpowers, the USA and the USSR. Of course, it was called the space race. And the premise was actually pretty simple. The nation that reached space first would unequivocally prove its dominance over the entire world. Well, the Soviet Union shocked absolutely everyone first. First off, they successfully launched Sputnik. Then they sent Yuri Gagarin up, making him the very first human in space. So the reality was stark. America was definitely falling behind. And that leads us to Apollo 11 and what seemed like an impossible goal. Up until this point, America was losing the race. But then this one mission changed absolutely everything. It was the Apollo program. Led by NASA, their goal was, well, simple to say, but scientifically, it seemed totally impossible. Land a human being on the moon and, crucially, bring him back safely. So, in 1969, Apollo 11 officially launches. 3 astronauts took this historic journey. You know their names: Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins. These 3 guys literally strapped themselves into a giant rocket, carrying the hopes of an entire nation. The whole sequence started with this fiery launch. Then came 4 incredibly long days of space travel, just navigating the vast emptiness between Earth and the moon. And finally, the moment of truth. After those 4 days, something incredible happened. Neil Armstrong steps out of the lunar module and actually touches the moon's surface. And as he did, he said something that's going to echo through human history forever. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. That single moment instantly became one of the greatest achievements in human history, no question. But then comes the conspiracy debates and all those viral doubts. Years later, there was this massive twist in the narrative as doubts really started to spread. People were asking, was the whole landing fake? Was it just filmed in some Hollywood studio? And why does the flag appear to be moving when there's no wind up there? These theories went incredibly viral, sparking what is easily one of the biggest conspiracy debates in history. So let's look at the hard evidence and the actual reality of the situation. Because despite all the wild theories out there, scientists and experts have repeatedly confirmed the truth. For starters, the physical moon rocks they brought back are completely unique, and they're still being studied by experts all over the world today. Plus, the astronauts left these laser reflectors on the lunar surface that are still fully active right now. But you know what's perhaps the most compelling piece of evidence? Even the Soviet Union, America's greatest rival at the time, never once denied that the landing happened. And think about the people involved. Thousands of them. This wasn't some tiny, secret mission executed in the dark. Literally thousands of engineers tracked the mission live as it was happening. So the sheer scale of the witnesses, combined with all that overwhelming physical evidence, points to one clear reality. The moon landing was absolutely real. Now, let's talk about the legacy of Apollo and looking beyond Earth. So what actually happened after Apollo 11? Well, 5 more missions successfully reached the moon. It wasn't just a one-and-done deal. But even today, when we gaze up at the night sky, the moon really remains this ultimate symbol of mystery, of profound silence, and of massive human ambition. 12. Think about that number. In total, only 12 astronauts have ever successfully walked on its surface. 12 human beings who have experienced the absolute staggering isolation of standing on an entirely different world. So the big takeaway here? The moon landing wasn't just a mission. It was absolute proof that humanity can pull off the impossible. Because when we dare to go beyond Earth, we discover just how far we can truly go.